Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is video number 7 of my makeup tips tutorial videos, and today I'm going to be talking about different types of eyeliner, how to do graphic liner, and things you can use instead of eyeliner. So I've got a few products with me here today that I'm going to go through in order, and I'm going to be swatching on my hand. For anyone that watched my first video on foundation, I said not to swatch on your hand because this can be problematic because the skin on your hand is not the same as the skin on your face. For eyeliner, however, or lipstick or pigmented things, really the only reason you're going to swatch them is to see what the pigment is like, to touch them and see whether it comes off easily, whether it's long wear, whether it's not going to last as long. Really you want to see what the pigment's like against a similar tone to your own skin, so it's not really as important that you will colour match foundation, but you wouldn't necessarily colour match a pigmented product such as a lipstick or an eyeliner. So with that in mind, I am going to be swatching on my hand today. I'm going to try and go through as many different possibilities as possible. I'm going to try and attempt to remember some of the prices for you, but obviously some of these products I bought quite a while ago. So it will be trial and error. So it will be a basic ballpark figure. For anyone that's interested today, I've got a lovely blue toned highlighter on, and this is from Fenty Beauty. It looks like this and it's called Shade Chills. This is a really lovely highlighter for any of those who like a bit of colour. So you can see here it is really nice. It's pigmented, but it's not so pigmented that I'm left with lines on my face when I'm looking forward at you, but you can see it when I look to the side. If you haven't been following these videos, this is video number 7 now, so I've done quite a few already on different aspects of makeup, and in video number 5 I go into more detail about how to do eyeliner, liquid eyeliner versus gel eyeliner, how to clean up any mistakes. So if you haven't watched that, this is sort of the next step onto that video, so please go and check it out so you get a basic idea. If you're already versed in how to do eyeliner, you don't need to watch that video. It's just got a few hints and tips on how to fix mistakes and how to make your winged liner look really good. So today I'm going to talk a lot about different types of eyeliner, and I'm going to start with the 2 that I used in the last video. But first I'm going to talk about brushes. So I have 3 brushes here. Some liquid liners already come with applicators, some do not. So for me, I actually have a paintbrush from the range. So this is an artist brush from the range. I have a nail brush, which is a really thin, tiny brush. And then I have a brush from Beauty Bay, which is a liner brush from Beauty Bay. These are £2 from Beauty Bay. They're not very expensive at all. The brush range on Beauty Bay is brilliant. You can buy them singly or you can buy them in sets. This brush I bought in a set from Wish, so it was really not very expensive, maybe a couple of pounds. And this brush I bought as an artist paintbrush set, which again was probably a couple of pounds. It wasn't the most expensive type of brush you can buy. If you do have sensitive eyes, however, I will say that a paintbrush might not be your best option because it's going to be near your eyes, and obviously these aren't deemed as eye safe. They're not, they're not intended to paint on your face, so just remember that. I've personally never had a problem, but I'd hate to give you advice that would make you have a reaction to this. So if you're unsure, I suggest purchasing a liner brush off Beauty Bay because they are eye safe. It's designed for what you're going to use it for, so just be aware of that. So the first 2 liners I'm going to show you are the first 2 that I used in my last video. So here I've got the Sace Lady waterproof eyeliner, and this is a liquid eyeliner pen. Anyone that wants to buy one of these, I'll link it down below. Go on the Instagram page Self Home Beauty and use code Helen30 to get 30% off. But these eyeliners are really good. I found this one particularly probably my new favourite, and I'm just going to go ahead and swatch that one for you right here. Now, it's always good when you're swatching an eyeliner to give it a moment to dry, because it's not going to dry straight away. If I try and smudge test this now, it is going to move, it is going to smudge. So just be aware, obviously, when it's on your eyes, you have to wait for it to dry. Same thing when you're testing a matte lipstick or an eyeliner, is they're supposed to dry down. So just give it a little minute to see what it's going to actually look like once it's dried on your skin. The second eyeliner I have here is the black gel liner, and it's called Lasting Gel Liner, and it's from Kiko Milano. So you can see they're lasting gel liner, and it comes in a little pot. This one you will need a brush with. So you can see here I've used mine quite a lot, but it's a gel-like consistency. I do go into more detail about gel liner on video 5 of my makeup tips tutorials, so you can go back and have a look at that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just getting my Beauty Bay brush, which has already got quite a lot of black on it, and I'm just going in there, and I'm just going to do another swatch here next to the first one. So you can see there's a slight difference there. You can see to make this one perfect, I'm going to have to go over it a few times, which again I explain in the last video. So you can see what that looks like there. So they will act now as our test swatches for all the other different types of eyeliner we're going to use, and different alternatives to eyeliner we're going to use. So the next ones I have here are a white and a black from Collection. So these are probably the eyeliners you've seen the most. If you're similar to my generation, these are probably the only eyeliners that were available on the market at the time. So these already come with an applicator. You need to shake them before you open them. They already come with an applicator, and this is why I suggest using a similar brush, because if you look at the applicator in this, it is very similar to this, and you find that you get a more precise line. Some people like to use an angular brush. That's personally not me. I don't find them accurate enough to make a winged liner wing with. I find it really difficult. Some people prefer it. More power to you if you do. Really, it's your own personal preference, but for me, I'm not going to use a angular brush today. I'm only going to be using a small brush like this. So you don't need to dip another brush into this because it already has an applicator that will do the job. This eyeliner is quite old. It's been in my makeup bag for God knows how long, so just be aware of that. And I'm just going to swatch this one here. So obviously you might not be able to see on camera a massive difference between 3 black liners, but there is a small difference. I'm going to wait for all the swatches to dry before I do any kind of water or rub test, so you can actually see what they're going to look like. But you can see there that they're the 3. So this is the Collection, this is the Sace Lady Waterproof, and this is the Kiko Gel. So with this kind of applicator on these eyeliners, these are around £2 from Superdrug, Boots, any sort of drugstore retailer. They're really cheap, and I haven't really found one in this kind of format that is better than this. I've been using this since I was about 14. Essentially, I've been using this for half my life now. They are really good. I haven't personally found one that I find better on the market. Some come with much longer brushes. I'm going to be discussing those in a minute, but these have a really good pointed, quite solid brush that's not going to cause you too much problem when you're creating a line. So I'm just going to put that white line now across my knuckle next to the Collection black line, so you can see there. Obviously I'm doing this backwards, so they're not going to be perfectly straight lines, but you know, you get the idea. You can see that that white is really stark, it is really nice. The only issue I have with this is this white, it does tend to crack a little bit, and it does become quite easily discoloured if I have a coloured eyeshadow next to it. However, for such a bright white, I think it's really good, and it does the job it's supposed to. You just have to be more aware when you're using a lighter shade of eyeliner that it is going to be more difficult to keep that pigment really bright, stark white. Obviously the eyeliners I'm showing you today are the ones that I have available to me. There are loads of options out there. I'm just going to discuss with you how I find each one. Obviously if you want more detail about gel and liquid eyeliner pen, I would suggest you watch video 5, liquid versus gel eyeliner makeup tutorial on YouTube. This will give you a better idea of how they both work. Today I'm going to be talking more about the coloured eyeliners and how to create a graphic liner look, and how to use a singular bright colour to get a really nice result, or variations of the same bright colour or the same colour to get a good result with makeup. If you do hear any noise interference in the background, that is my neighbours. They are doing some DIY work, so there's nothing I can do about that. I apologise. But as I say, if you do hear any interference in the background, that will be why. Next I'm going to move on to metallic liquid eyeliners. So I have a few with me today. I have this Barry M one here, and this is just called metallic liquid eyeliner. So this is just a silver metallic eyeliner, and it's got a very similar brush to the collection ones. This brush is maybe a little bit shorter. Some brushes you find will be too solid and stiff, some brushes you will find will be too soft or long. Really, it's down to personal preference and the kind of brush you like to use. Again, I think this eyeliner is maybe a little bit more expensive than its collection counterpart. This could be because it's metallic, so I think these are around £3.99 to £5. As I say, I'll do my best to keep you updated on the prices. I don't know them all because some of them I've had for a very long time, so I'll do my best with that. So this one I'm just going to swatch down here. As you can see there, it's given me a really nice amount of product. It has given me a slightly thicker line. This could be because I went over my knuckle, but it could also be because of the brush. You'll see better what that looks like when it's dried down. You can see these three have now dried down here. You can see that white is probably a little less pigmented than it was before it dried. So we'll see what this one looks like here in a moment. Next up I have 3 Primark eyeliners. These came in a set of 3. I think they were possibly a Halloween or autumn set. The beauty of Primark makeup is it is very good, but the issue is that it doesn't stay on the market for ages. There are only few staple products from Primark that you can get all year round. But on the upside, they were always bringing out new things, so you'll be able to find things that you prefer. But I personally suggest that if you do really like a product from Primark, you buy a few while they're still on the market. Obviously, makeup, for anyone that's interested, always has a little date on telling you how long that it's supposed to last for. These dates are usually after opening, so if you leave a product sealed as a spare product when you run out of the first one you really liked, it should still be okay to use, but always check the label. So these are a really nice trio of shades. You can see that I've got like a burnt red, a really nice orange burnt umber colour, and a more antique pale gold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the gold one first, and when I open it you can see that these are a little bit old now, and you can see that that has a much longer brush. So these brushes are longer and softer, they've got long bristles. Some people prefer this. I find that they're quite soft, which makes them more difficult to control. If you do find that you really can't get on with an applicator but you love an eyeliner, especially these, which the whole set was probably around £2 to £3, just use a different brush when you're using it, is the honest answer. These eyeliners are not, I don't think, as pigmented, but for £2 to £3 for a whole set, they're really a great price, and you know, a great bargain. So I'm just going to swatch this one over here. Now with this one it looks very pigmented because I've got a thick layer on, but be aware that the more you spread that layer of metallic eyeliner around, the less pigmented it will become, so you will have to layer it up. But these metallics also dry down matte, which is great because they're there for long wear. I think these are a really nice set of eyeliners, so I'm going to swatch the other 2 for you now. As you can see, these are quite thick. You can see there, I don't know whether you can see it on camera, but there is actually a line in the centre where the brush has touched my hand, where there is no liner product. That will become more or less obvious when it dries down. But you can see that that is an issue with these eyeliners, is the brush is equally good at removing product as it is as putting it on. So you do have to be patient and layer this product up, which can be quite difficult to do. The difference in the pigments can also be an issue with liquid or metallic eyeliner, because it's harder to make some pigments than it is others. So you can see that the gold one went on probably much better than that burnt umber colour, and I'm just going to swatch the red right next to those there. So the red's quite a strong pigment, that one doesn't look as patchy, but you will find that with a lot of brands there will be inconsistencies, especially with drugstore or cheaper brands. There will be inconsistencies where some products are better than others. It is just the way it is. If you want to really check, I suggest you swatch them all in store and let them dry. Have a good test of what they're really going to look like once they're dry. And the next product I have here that is still considered in the family of eyeliner is a set of 4 Primark glitter liners. You can see here with these, before I shake them, that there's a distinct difference between the oil-based product in the top and the glitter has settled in the bottom. But if I shake that, you can see that now the glitter's started to disperse into the rest of the product. So again, this was a set that I bought from Primark. A similar set will probably be available at some point. I think this set was probably a Christmas set. So they do different things depending on what time of year it is. The products all have varying amounts of pigment. That is mainly because they're so cheap, but they are great products. I think Primark changed the makeup game forever when they brought out makeup, because they're saying to the bigger brands, look, you're spending a lot of money to make these products, which some products, you know, some luxury products are definitely worth the money, some aren't worth the money, some are there, you know, if you want to treat yourself. But Primark is a great staple to have. I have some of their liquid lipsticks, I have some of their foundation, concealer, a load of other products from there, and that's because they're cheap, that's because they're readily available to me, and I enjoy using them. But I think, you know, Primark stood up and said, look, it isn't right that you're charging this amount of money for products when we can sell them at this price. So I'm going to now start with these glitter shades. Glitter eyeliner is much more difficult to get a good payoff from, and that is because it is basically fine flecks of glitter in an oil-based or water-based product. They are much more difficult to get anything out of, as you'll see when I swatch them. You can layer them up sometimes if you want just a subtle glitter, but I would just be aware not to expect these to be amazingly crazy glittery, because they probably won't be. For that, I am going to show you an alternative you can use, but I'm going to start by swatching these. So I'm going to start with this silver shade. These ones don't have any shade names on, they're just glitter eyeliner. So I'm going to swatch this one next to the red here. And as you can see, it is glittery, but it's not a massive amount of payoff. You can layer them up, but I'm just showing you single swipe swatches today. You can see that it is there, but it's not. It doesn't look like what it looks like in the bottle, that's for sure. And you have to be aware of that. Obviously, these have split to some degree. When you shake them, they do come back to life, but you can still see the most density is in the bottom of the bottle. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch this gold one now next to the silver here. So you can see again, it is there. You can tell it's gold, but it's not as crazy glittery as it suggests in the bottle. You will see more as they dry down. I'm going to go ahead and swatch the pale pink shade. So with this one, you can see that where I first swatched it at the top, the glitter is much more dense, whereas lower down here there is much less glitter. You do find this with a lot of glitter shades, that they don't spread very evenly, that you have to go over them several times to spread them. I'm going to go ahead and swatch this last colour now. So this darker pink here. And you can see there. Now you can see on camera a little bit this one. You can actually see the oil-based product, and it's giving an orangey yellowy hue to it. This will be less obvious if you were to put this over a dark eyeshadow. This is probably because it's a darker shade of glitter compared to the other three. If I hold them all up here, you can see that this is the much darkest shade of glitter. You can see a bit of that oil-based product that you couldn't see on the other three. As I say, this is potentially because it is a darker glitter, so they've decided to put a darker based shade underneath it. It isn't the most desirable colour in the world, looking at that underneath that pink. It's not my favourite, but you could hide that by using a dark eyeshadow. The next one I have here is a gel liner by Melt Cosmetics, and this is shade OK Boomer. Now, Melt Cosmetics have been revered for their gel liners, so you can see how lovely that shade looks in that part. They have a massive range of different colours, as do Colourpop Cosmetics. I don't have any of the Colourpop ones here today, but the Melt Cosmetic ones are really lovely formula. and they're used by a lot of makeup artists. People really tend to like them, and they're really nice if you want a bright or alternative eyeliner colour that you can't usually get on the market, which is why I'm going to be showing you some alternatives as well in a moment. But this one is particularly good. So I'm going to go ahead and take my brush now. So I'm going to be using my nail brush for this one, and I'm just going to go in there, and you can see how soft that formula is, that it's being marked by my brush. And I'm just going to saturate my brush a little bit in that beautiful silver shade, and I'm just going to swatch it here next to the other metallic, and you can see that that is lovely. So you can see that you do get pigment payoff with this. Like I said, with gel eyeliners you do have to go over them a few times. I'm just going to smudge this bit out at the top because it's left a little bit of a lump, and that's going to take it much longer to dry, so I'm not going to be able to test these. I am just spreading it down. It is the same amount of product that I used before. So you can see there that that metallic is really lovely. You can see this one next to it's dried and stayed really nice and metallic, which is great. You can see that now the 3 Primark ones have become slightly more dull in comparison, but their pigment payoff is still good. I think gel eyeliner is really nice because it's more controllable. It's easier, in my opinion, to use than liquid eyeliners. But this one is the Metal Bond Gel Liner, so you can see there, Metal Bond Gel Liner. And this is a beautiful, beautiful colour. I can't wait to get more of these. But there are a lot of different metallics and glitters you can get on the market. Unfortunately, I only have a few glitters here today, but I am going to show you an alternative to a glitter. So what I'm going to do now is all these eyeliners, so you can see here that all these shades are actually some form of liquid or gel eyeliner. Next I'm going to be talking about pencil eyeliner. So pencil eyeliner obviously is most famous for being in the waterline. There are masses of shades out there. I have a few here today. So I have the NYX Cosmetics Professional Makeup, and this is just a brown eyeliner. I do apologise for how stubby they all are. I had problems with my pencil sharpener, so I've actually not sharpened any of these, so I do apologise for that. So if they do look a bit thick, it's only because I haven't sharpened them. This is a really nice buttery formula, so I'm just going to swatch that there next to the black ones, and you can see there that this top row now consists of these two are the collection white and black eyeliners. This is the Sace Lady Waterproof. This is the Kiko Milano Gel, and this one is the NYX Cosmetics Brown Liner. This eyeliner says that it has extreme shine, that it's waterproof, it is shade Brown Perfection, and this is a kohl-based liner, so that is K-O-H-L, not kohl as in C-O-A-L. This is usually find with pencil eyeliners like this that they're either kohl or gel based. I don't personally like the gel based ones. I find them really difficult to use. I think if you want to use a gel eyeliner you should be using it from a pot like this, but it really is down to personal preference. That's just my opinion. So anyone that watched my last video on how to transition basic neutral eyeshadow colours, this eyeliner would be great with that look. You can use pencil eyeliners to sharpen up lines, to draw gently out areas that you're going to make into designs. Some people like them to draw their eyebrows on with. Obviously you can use a brow pencil for that. In the waterline of their eye, under the waterline of their eye. Some people find that their eyes are too sensitive to actually put anything in the waterline of their eye directly, so they put it just under the eye instead. That is a perfectly viable option. I actually don't have a problem with it, but some people do. So the next pencil I have here is a Wet n Wild, and this says lip and eyeliner, so this is for lips and eyes, which is great because obviously a lot of eyeliners are, are probably smudge if you would use them as lip liner, whereas this one you can do both with. So if you're going to use a black lipstick, this would be great for that. If you're going to use a red lipstick and you want to blend it with black, it would be great with that. I am going to be talking more about lipstick and lip liners in a later video, and this one is called Shade Digital, and I believe it's a blue-black. So I'm just going to swatch it here next to that brown, and you can see there that that's given me a nice defined line. I don't think you can really tell on camera that it does have a bit of blue in there, but take my word for it, it does. The other two pencil eyeliners I have here today are again by NYX, and this one is the same make as the brown one, and this is shade Glitzy Gold, and this is a metallic version of the NYX Cosmetics eyeliners. So I'm going to put this one down here with the metallic liners, and you can see what that looks like there. Next to that's a much more rich gold than the Primark one. This is to do with pigment and shade as opposed to anything else, but you can see it is really metallic like the others. With pencil eyeliners, they don't necessarily dry down exactly the same as a gel or a liquid. You need to be aware of that it is smudgeable. It's more likely to smudge than a liquid eyeliner is. We see the market is saturated with loads of different really good pencil eyeliners. I prefer the NYX ones personally. I think they're really good, but you could use ones from any brand. And the last one I have here is the NYX Professional Makeup. This is from the Faux White collection. So these are all white eyeliners with a hint of colour. So there is a pale blue, there is a pale pink, there is a pale creamy yellow colour. This one's the lavender version, and this one's called White Smoke. So this one I'm going to swatch up here next to the other white. So you can see that that one's got that really nice purple tinge to it. White pencil eyeliners are great for making your eye look bigger, making it look more open. I think it's really nice they've done these shades of faux whites that are just off-white in different shades, though I think you will have to be careful with certain shades, like the pink one might make you look a bit like you've got a pink eye. You do need to be aware of that when you're choosing one. I prefer a blue toned colour, so I went for a purple. The blue one would also, I think, equally look nice. So now I'm going to move on to alternatives you can use as eyeliner. So I'm just going to go through this set that I've got on my hand quickly and just remind you what each one is. So this one is Collection, and it's the white liner. This one is the NYX Faux White Pencil Liner. This one is the Collection Black Liquid Eyeliner. This one is the Sace Lady Waterproof Liner, and if you can see when I move my hand, probably not on camera, but it is, this one has a slight sheen to it compared to its matte counterparts either side of it. That is because it's waterproof, and it does give you a nice shine to that one. This one is the Kiko Milano Gel Liner. This one is the NYX Cosmetics Brown Pencil Eyeliner. This one is the Wet n Wild Black Pencil Eye and Lip Liner. This one is the Barrier Metallic Liquid Eyeliner. This one is the Melt Cosmetics Metal Bond Gel Liner. This one is the NYX Cosmetics Metallic Pencil Gold Eyeliner. These three are the metallic liquid eyeliners from Primark, and these four are the glitter liquid eyeliners from Primark. So next up, I'm going to talk about how you can use different things as eyeliner, and the newest trend on the market is water activated. A brand that's been commented on as starting this trend is Suva Beauty, and these are the Hydra FX eyeliners, and this one is a UV one and it's shade Scrunchy. Unfortunately, this is the only one I have with me today. They do come in a massive range of colours, you name it, they've got the colour. And these eyeliners are water activated, which means you have to put water on to use them. So if I was to just dip a brush into this and try and swatch it onto my hand, you can see here that nothing has come off onto that brush, absolutely nothing. They are water activated only, which is also great. You can see here I'm swirling my finger in it. Barely any has come off onto my finger, if any at all. It's potential that it's only come off because of the natural water that's on my finger. So they are water activated only. The only issue I have with water activated eyeliner is I've found that if you are caught in the rain, or if your eye waters, or for any other reason, or if you sweat, they will come off because they're water activated, which equally means that they're going to be activated by any water in your environment, and they will run. I think they're lovely eyeliners for creating makeup art with. I think they're absolutely beautiful colours, but my big issue with them is that if they're water activated, they're also activated once they're on your skin. if there is any water in your environment. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch that one down on the bottom row here next to the glitters. What I've got is I've got a little pot of water next to me here that I'm dipping my brush into, and then I'm just mixing that on, and you can see now that it's become activated and my brush is coated in that. And I'm just going to put it here next to this glitter one, and look at that gorgeous bright pink. They are absolutely stunning colours. They do dry down. However, like I say, if there is any water in your environment, they are not going to last. I actually put this one recently. I had a black line of liquid eyeliner and then a pink line above it. I'll throw the picture up here. And this, after about an hour or so, because it was hay fever season and my eye was running, came off quite quickly. And it was a real shame because it was a really nice look. I really liked it. But I did find that it came off quite quickly. Whether that's because my eye is hooded and it was constantly touching this area here when my eye was open is a possibility. So possibly if you use them as a graphic eyeliner and bring them higher up than your eyelid, so the bend of your eyelid doesn't affect them, they might last a bit longer. But I found that it was a real shame because I really do like these eyeliners, but they're not practical for long wear. Another thing that is water activated, which works great as an eyeliner, is actually face paint. So I have here 3 shades of the Snazaroo face paint. So I've got white, black and red here, and I'm going to swatch all 3 for you. These are water activated, so they come in like a pot like this, and they've got quite a sticky formula, so they will come off on your finger if you don't add water to them. But the best way to get the best sort of paintable line out of them is to add water. So these again aren't going to last as long as normal liquid eyeliner, or unlikely to last as long as normal liquid eyeliner. Also, I'd like to point out that I am wiping my brushes on a makeup wipe, making sure they're entirely clean in between each swatch that I use them for, just to make sure that you're getting the most fair representation of what they look like. So I'm going to swatch these 3 up here. So again, I'm just dipping my paintbrush into the water, and I'm going to start with the white one. So I'm going to swatch this one here, and you can see what great payoff you get from a face paint. So if you are wanting a different shade of eyeliner but you can't afford anything too expensive, or you can't find the shade you want, have a look at face paint. They're obviously also mixable face paints, so if you're looking for the perfect shade and you just can't find it, face paint is a really easy way of getting that. I can't promise that it's going to last forever, but you can get some really great results. As you can see from both these swatches of the water activated eyeliners, you can get a thinner line with them, but obviously it does spread as well because it's got a lot of water in there, so you do have to use a light hand, which I have not done here, to get a finer line. Next I'm going to dive into the red, and I'm just going to swatch this one here next to that white. And you can see again, great colour payoff. If you're looking for a great shade of eyeliner but you can't quite find what you're looking for, these will be great for this kind of thing, because you can get so many different variations of colour and you can mix them together, which is a really nice aspect of using a face paint. The only issue, as I've said a few times already, is that they might not last as long. Next I'm going to dip into the black shade, so you can see what kind of payoff that's going to give you as well. Obviously I've just dipped my brushes in water and mixed straight onto that palette there, so you can see that I've just mixed straight onto that to get some of that pigment to lift and become usable. And I'm going to swatch that here, just like that. So that could quite easily be mistaken for black liquid eyeliner. It is quite similar in consistency on my hand. You can see that they're pretty good to use. And that's just a alternative, quite a cheap alternative to eyeliner, or coloured eyeliner especially. I don't imagine that you particularly wear a black face paint as eyeliner when you can buy so many black eyeliners, but the red one is quite an interesting shade. You can see here I have no other eyeliners that were that shade. So they are the water activated eyeliners that I have available, alternatives to eyeliner I have available here. As you can see, this Suva one is a gorgeous colour. They come out with some stunning colours. They have metallics. They have all sorts of beautiful coloured eyeliners. but you do have to be careful about the moisture in your environment when you do wear them. So next I'm going to move on to another type of face paint, which is ready liquid face paint. Now these face paints are Moon Creations face paints. These again will give you a plethora of different colours that you could potentially wear as eyeliner because they're safe on your face. However, these particular ones are not the best. They're not that pigmented, they're not that opaque, but I think if you layered this up enough you'd probably get a decent result. I do have a whole set of these in masses of different colours. They come in normal shades like black and red, but they also come in these unusual shades like this pale blue here. Essentially the paler the colour, the more difficult it is to get any sort of use out of them. So I've got a pale pink and a dark pink here, and I'm going to swatch both of them to see if there's any difference. I'm going to start with the pale pink and I'm going to swatch that next to the Suva colour. So I'm just going to dip in there and I'm just going to swatch it next to this Suva colour here. So you can see there at the top it's really well pigmented. As you come lower down here it is less well pigmented. I think that the more that you add on to this the better it will be, but essentially they are not the most opaque paints I've ever used, but you can get a decent result from them, and they do have some really interesting colours in this set. This entire set of face paints was $12.99 from eBay, and I think I got about 16 colours, so it's quite a decent price for a lot of different colours if you like coloured makeup or different coloured makeup. I've got the darker pink here that I'm going to swatch next to that lighter pink. So I'm just dipping in there again with my brush, making sure it's covered, and I'm going to just go next to this lighter pink here. And there you can see again, it's pretty decent colour payoff. Some of them aren't as good as this. I think the paler they are, the more difficult it is, but I'm pleasantly surprised about how well they've paid off there. The more you drag that line out, the less pigmented it is going to become. You can see that the top they're both quite dense, whereas lower down they're not as dense. The longer you drag that line out to make the wing of your eyeliner, the less pigmented they're going to be, but you can build it up. So the next products you can use are liquid eyeshadows as liquid eyeliners. So this one is a MAC Cosmetics Dazzle Shadow Liquid Eyeshadow, and this one comes with an applicator like this, which you could potentially eyeline with, but it's not the best, so I'm going to swatch it with a brush. So all I'm doing is taking that product off of that applicator onto my brush, and I'm just going to swatch it next to these other silvers here. And you can see what that looks like there. All those silvers are a really great quality actually. All three are really lovely. They all have a different kind of undertone to them. So this is quite a dark gunmetal grey undertone. This one's quite a mid true silver, and this one is like a pure white undertone silver. So you can get different results depending on the pigment that they've used. The best liquid eyeshadows to use, or cream eyeshadows to use, are the ones that dry down matte. So you can either ask somebody on a makeup counter if they are going to dry down matte, or you can put a bit on your hand, walk away and see whether it does dry down. I know this one particularly does, and it comes in some really nice shades of metallic colour, and that is another alternative you can use to get more colour of eyeliner. So next we're going to be talking about how you can liquefy pigment to use it as eyeliner as well. So pigment you can get in an array of colours, an array of glitters. I'm going to be using this NYX Cosmetics pigment today, and this is shade 13, and this is a goldeny type shade. Again, it's a metallic. And I'm going to be showing you the NYX Professional Cosmetics pigment, and this is a glitter shade, and this is pigment number 20. So you've got a metallic and a glitter, so you can use both of these in this way to create eyeliner with. And what you will need for this is the NYX Multitasker Mixing Medium. You can use any kind of mixing medium you want so long as it's the same thing. But essentially NYX Cosmetics is probably the most affordable version. I think this is around £8, and it can be used in conjunction with any of their pigments. So I've opted to use NYX pigments today. So all you're going to do with this is you're going to mix this product and this product to create a liquid formula. So I've just got a little flat dish here that I'm going to mix my items on, and I'm just going to do this off camera, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I'm just squirting out that mixing medium. I'm not using too much because I'm only doing this for swatches. And then I'm just going to take a tiny amount of pigment, and I'm just going to mix those two opposing forces together. Now obviously the more pigment that you use, the more pigmented it will be. It will also be thicker depending on how much pigment you use. So I've approximately used 1 part pigment to 1 part mixing medium here, so I've just mixed the powder and the gel together, and it's become like a gel-like consistency. And I'm just going to swatch this here next to these metallics, so between these two. Right there. So you can see this is more of an antique gold shade, but that now acts, even though it's powder, acts as a liquid or cream eyeliner or eyeshadow. So the metallic one works really well. I've never actually tried the glitter one, so we're going to see how that works today. So I'm going to do the same again. I'm just going to take out a bit of the mixing medium and dispense some of the pigment, and then we're going to try it and see what it looks like. So you can see there that I've just mixed those together again, and you can see that one's a little bit more glittery. And I'm just going to swatch this one here above here. And you can see again that's wielded a great result. Is it as glittery as the Primark ones? Potentially not. It looks a little bit more metallic because the flecks of glitter are finer, but it has given me a really beautiful result. And again, that is the NYX pigments with the NYX mixing medium. Again, these will dry down matte eventually. It just gives you a plethora of more colours to use than will be available in liquid or gel eyeliner. So you have another alternative there. Another alternative to glitter eyeliner is the 90s favourite body glitter. So this is just a Primark body glitter. It was £1.50. It dries matte, which is great. So this was really cheap and can give you a better payoff than a glitter liquid eyeliner. This is a gel-like consistency. It's quite gloopy. It's almost like jelly highlighter. I actually use these shades as highlighter as well. They are really diverse, which is great. So I'm just going to dip in there and coat my brush. And then I'm just going to go in next to this glitter pigment one I did here and just add that on. Now these you have to be careful when spreading. Again, if the glitter moves, you will get areas where it's not quite right, but you can see there what great payoff that gives you. Now, a warning with body glitter is it's not deemed as eye safe, so you need to be careful. This shade would be better up here, away from your eye itself, around this area, so you're not coming into contact with your eye itself, because that can be dangerous. But you can see what a great result that's given me there, and this will also dry down matte. So body glitters are cheap and they're a great alternative to glitter eyeliners. Again, as I say, I wouldn't put it too close to your eye, but it is a really great alternative. These can become more dispersed or more dense depending on how much you put on and how much you put on the brush. But you can see that that has given me a really lovely result. So I've spoken to you now about a lot of different alternatives to eyeliner, and especially liquid eyeliner, and a lot of ways to get more colours that you can't get from a liquid eyeliner itself. It's very rare to find a massive range of liquid eyeliner colours. Most drugstore brands will sell brown, black and white, maybe a blue, but that's about it. As I say, Barry M does sell a lot of really nice colours, including that beautiful silver metallic that is this one in the centre here, but a lot of places don't sell masses of liquid eyeliners. So in some of these ways you can get a cheaper version. So I think the Snazaroo face paints are around £3.99 for a very large pot. The Moon Creations face paint, liquid face paints, are £12.99 for a huge set of colours. So if you like a lot of bright colour, you can get a huge set quite easily. The Suva Beauty is a bit more expensive. It's around £8 each, but you can see that I've used this a few times and I've barely scratched the surface. You do get a lot of product for your money. But some of the alternatives, like the body glitter, like using mixing medium, so you can use a metallic or glitter pigment is a great idea. But I'm now going to talk to you about one more alternative that you can use for eyeliner, which is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics liquid lipsticks. Now I have one on my lips here already today, but the liquid lipsticks are absolutely fantastic because they are eye safe. So Jeffree Star Cosmetics has strived to ensure that their liquid lips are eye safe, which means you can use them as any kind of eyeliner and they will be fine. You can even use them in the waterline of your eye, which I've seen videos of makeup artists actually do on Jeffree Star himself. So they are 100% safe for your eyes. Allergic reactions not included. Obviously some people will have allergic reactions to them because that is just the way their particular skin works. It's got nothing to do with the product itself, it's to do with their own reactions or something in the product that they're already allergic to. But they are absolutely beautiful and they come in a plethora of colours, including sets of mini liquid lipsticks, which I use both as lipstick and eyeliner. So I'm going to throw up the examples of the 4 different mini sets of Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks I have here. So you can see there that you've got 4 different sets of beautiful liquid lipsticks. They come in a set of 8 and they come in colour ranges. So you can see from the photos that they're open here for nudes 1, come in a plethora of nude to darker brown shades, nudes for every skin tone. So you get paler to really dark shades, so every skin tone, and they suit a lot of different skin tones as well. You get the Love Me Not set, which is the mini red bundle, and you can see that there's a plethora of different beautiful reds in there. So anyone that's a lover of red lipstick will love that bundle, or a lover of red eyeliner. The Queen Bitch set is more purple shades, but it's got a lot of diverse shades in that, and that is the newest one that came out with the Bloodlust palette. So that is part of the Bloodlust collection. You can buy all of these, if you're from the UK, I would say to buy them from beautybay.com, as they deliver to the UK much faster than anywhere else and you don't end up with customs charges or expensive delivery fees. Now, there are a plethora of beautiful colours by Jeffree Star, including blacks and metallics. So I have a black metallic one here, it's black with gold flecks, and this is shade Soul Sucker. So this is a gorgeous shade for eyeliner because it's a black with golden reflect. As I say, they are called liquid lips, but they are 100% eye safe, so they are both in one, and they come in such a wide range of colours that you'd definitely be able to find one that you personally like. So they do dry matte, which is great, as you want most eyeliners to dry matte, so you can actually walk around without them sliding everywhere. So this one is a beautiful shade. I'm going to just put this next to the other blacks. So I'm just taking it off that lip applicator onto my brush, and I'm just going to put it between these two here, and you can see that glitter in there. Obviously you can see where it's petered off at the bottom. This could possibly be because, like some of the others, the pigment does tailor out and you do have to build it up, but they are buildable. It could also be because I keep wiping my brush on a makeup wipe, which is going to take away some of the product because it has makeup remover on it, so I want to be fair there. But you can see that it does have glitter in there. It is really beautiful, and you can see that that shade of glitter is gold. Another metallic one that Jeffree Star has brought out is this golden colour, and this is called First Class. This is a really interesting gold, really yellow gold colour. It reminds me a little bit of the Fenty Beauty highlighter Trophy Wife. It's a similar sort of really yellow gold shade that's really in fashion right now. There are masses of shades of liquid lipstick, so I've gone through as many as I can by showing you the photographs, and I'm just going to swatch a couple of different ones here. So I've swatched a black glitter one. I'm going to swatch this gold metallic one, and I'm just going to put it here next to these two glitter ones. Right there. So you can see that that is similar to the NYX eyeliner there, which is great because you could mix and match, put the NYX eyeliner in the waterline if you're not comfortable putting a liquid product in your waterline. But you can see there that you get great payoff from the, not the cheapest alternative to liquid eyeliner, but definitely the best in terms of range of colour and the usage, because you can use them on your lips also. The smaller lipsticks I've actually found run out too fast for me, so I actually have the same shades in larger versions as well, because I've found that the smaller ones don't last quite long enough for me. But the reason that they come in such small ones is because there's such a range of colours, so you could use a different colour. If you only use colours every so often, they're definitely going to last a lot longer. But for me, I've just chosen my favourite colours and I've bought them in bigger shades. So here's shade I'm Nude. I am going to swatch a nude one just so you can see what that might look like as an eyeliner as well. This would look really beautiful on dark skin as a contrast. It would be a little bit lost probably on my skin unless I used it to cut the crease or unless I used it for another thing. So I'm just going to put this one up here next to the whites. And you can see there that that can now be used as a nude eyeliner. So the possibilities are really endless with these because they're all eye safe, which is great. It means that you can use them for dual purpose. You can match your lips to your eyeliner, which is another great option. And you can see there that there's a plethora of colours. So the Jeffree ones are this one here in the centre of these two, the gold one at this edge here, and the nude one here. Watch this one, which is shade Designer Blood. As you can see, I've rhinestoned all mine. And I am just going to swatch this one as well. And this one is a really nice, rich, deep red. So I'm just going to swatch this one here. So you can see that that is a beautiful sort of cherry red colour. They are really, really lovely shades of liquid lip and eyeliner. A great way to make a statement would be to make your eyeliner and your lip colour the same, which obviously with the Jeffree style ones you can do that. The singular liquid lips, the large ones, are around £18. The bundle sets are around £45, so they're not the cheapest in the world, but they are really great. They're my personal favourite out of everything I've used here today. The colour range is insane, and he does limited edition versions as well, so you can get a really beautiful range of colours. So I'm just going to give these a moment to dry down and before I do any tests, and I'll be back in a minute. And I'm back. So I've been gone about 10 minutes. These have all had chance now to dry down. Obviously I've been filming for about an hour now, so some of these have had longer to dry than others. But essentially eyeliners that dry, or alternatives to eyeliners that dry matte, should have had time to dry within about 10 minutes or so. That's what I personally expect from an eyeliner. So what I'm going to do now is a series of tests to see how durable each eyeliner is. Obviously I want you to be aware with these tests that you're not necessarily going to rub your eye, you're not necessarily going to be coated in water, so you need to be aware of that, this is just a test to show you how durable each one is. Before we start, I want to make a few comments on a few of these. So these ones here, I don't know whether you can see, have got like a solid crusty top to them, so they're crusty on the outside, especially where they're more built up at the top, especially this dark pink one. This is to do with how thick that I put the cream face paint on. Obviously it's not designed to just flatten as it dries. These ones here, obviously, again, as I said before, they're not as glittery as you might think they might be. So that silver one is really sparse glitter, but you can see that the undertone of that oil-based product that the glitter is put on with is completely dry. Whereas the pink one here, you can see that the under oil-based product to that has actually stained my skin. It's not the most desirable shade in the world. It's like an ugly orange stained shade. So with things like that, I mean, it could be because it's a little bit old, but you can see there, you can see what colour it is in the tube. This you might not be able to see over a darker eyeshadow, so be aware of that. But you can see that it has stained my skin there a little bit. So I'm going to do a couple of tests just to show you how durable these different alternatives and eyeliners are. I'm going to start by just rubbing each one with my finger. I am going to try and apply a similar amount of pressure to each one, but obviously I'm only human. It is going to be a bit of human error, so they're not going to be all exactly the same, so just be aware of that. So I'm just going to go through them all again. So this is the Jeffree Star Nude Liquid Lipstick, Eye Safe. This is the Collection White Liquid Eyeliner, the NYX Faux Whites Pencil Eyeliner, the Collection Black Liquid Eyeliner, the Jeffree Star Liquid Lip with Glitter Reflects, the Sace Lady Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner Pen, the Kiko Milano Gel Black Liner, the NYX Cosmetics Brown Pencil Eyeliner, the Wet n Wild Lip and Eye Pencil Liner, the 3 Snazaroo Face Paints Water Activated, the Jeffree Star Liquid Lipstick Shade Designer Blood, the NYX Glitter Pigment with NYX Mixing Medium, the Primark Body Glitter, the Jeffree Star Metallic Liquid Lipstick, the MAC Cosmetics Dazzle Shadow Cream Eyeshadow, the Barry M Metallic Liquid Eyeliner, Melt Cosmetics Gel Bond Liner, the NYX Metallic Pigment with Mixing Medium, NYX Cosmetics Metallic Eyeliner Pencil, the 3 Primark Metallic Liquid Eyeliners, the 4 Primark Glitter Liquid Eyeliners, the Suva Beauty Water Activated Hydra FX Eyeliner, the Moon Creations Cream Face Paints. So now that you can remember what each one of those are, I'm just going to go over each one with my finger. So you can see there that that one wasn't actually fully dry, so it took a little bit longer. That could be because of the texture of my skin, but you can see it has smudged slightly when I've gone over it. The Collection one's not moved at all when I've smudged that. The NYX one again hasn't moved when I've smudged it. It's maybe become a little bit more sheer than it was before. Again, the Collection liquid eyeliner hasn't moved. The Jeffree Star liquid lip one has moved, but again they have had less time to dry than everything else. The waterproof one hasn't moved. I have got a bit of glitter from the shade next to it in there, but it hasn't moved. The Kiko Milano one has given a little bit of black onto my finger, but as I said in the 5th makeup tips tutorial that I did, I have mixed that with quite a lot of coconut oil to keep it from drying out, so that could be why. The NYX brown eyeliner has smudged a little, but as I said, with pencil eyeliners they can smudge. They're not designed to not smudge. Again, the Wet n Wild lip and eyeliner in pencil has also smudged, but again, because they're coal based they are more likely to smudge. The white Snazaroo paint has cracked when I've smudged it, but again, with face paint you kind of expect that. The red one has smudged, so the red Snazaroo face paint has smudged. This could be due to the amount of water that I put in this one. This one had bled into my skin slightly, so that could be why. The black Snazaroo one has also smudged. Again, this face paint is more likely to smudge than any other kind of liner that you will use. Again, the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick has also smudged. This is smudged from the denser areas where I applied the lipstick, and this had less time to dry than anything else, as I said before. NYX Pigment and Mixing Medium hasn't moved at all, which is great. I didn't personally expect that, but it has stayed there really well. The only thing with this one is because it's quite thick, if it was near my knuckle or somewhere where it moved it might crack, but it is obviously holded up really well there. As you can see, the body glitter again has smudged and transferred glitter higher up onto the other shades, but it is still really solid glitter, especially compared to these 4 down here. It is still a really solid glitter. The Jeffree Star Metallic Liquid Lipstick has also smudged, but again that is probably because they have had less time to dry than everything else. The metallic cream eyeshadow has also transferred some of its metallic glitter higher up. It's smudged slightly, but it's not made as massive a difference as these ones up here. The Barry M one hasn't changed at all, which is great. Again, this one and this one with the mixing medium are probably the forerunners for not having moved, as well as the collection and the NYX Faux Whites, which is great. They all seem to be holding out to these tests really well. The Melt Cosmetics gel liner has also transferred only ever so slightly. Gel liner is more likely to smudge than its liquid counterpart, however it has held up really well. You can only tell when I move my hand that some of that has transferred. The NYX Metallic Pigment and Mixing Medium hasn't moved at all. The NYX Metallic Pencil Eyeliner again has smudged. This is more due to the fact that it is a pencil eyeliner. As I said before, they are not designed to be long wear or dry down, so it has smudged, whereas this pencil eyeliner one here hasn't smudged at all, which I'm quite surprised by. The 3 Primark ones, they haven't smudged at all either. The middle one has cracked slightly. Again, that could be because of the texture of my hand. It's not the same texture of skin that is on your face, so you need to be aware of that. The glitter ones have transferred slightly. You can see there that I have got a bit of glitter on my hand. They have transferred slightly, but essentially they're all still glittery. Where this paler pink one was most dense, more of the glitter has come off than anywhere else. But again, they weren't really that strong to begin with. They're obviously becoming less strong the more I rub them. The Suva Beauty one hasn't moved at all. And the Moon Creations cream face paints have also both moved slightly. I've rubbed each shade quite hard. Some have moved more than others. To be fair to the Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks, I probably haven't given them enough time to dry, and they haven't, other than the red one, which is probably the strongest, darkest shade, which is more dense in pigmentation, they haven't moved all that much. That body glitter is still really strong glitter, which is great. Some of the really great ones are the NYX Cosmetics with Mixing Medium, and this Barry M one here hasn't moved at all. And the 2 collection ones, which are 2 of the cheaper eyeliners you can buy, also haven't moved. And the Suva Beauty one hasn't moved. I'm going to get a dry piece of tissue and rub all of them at the same time, as much insofar as possible. So I'm going to get a flat piece of this tissue. Obviously some might be more affected by where my fingers touch through the tissue, so just be aware of that. But I'm just going to wipe that downward and see what happens. And wipe it downward here. So you can see there now that the body glitter has come off a hell of a lot more than it did when I rubbed it with my finger. It's transferred all the way down here. You can see that the Jeffree Star ones have stayed put now. The red one has smudged a little bit more, but again I put that on quite densely and I probably didn't give them enough time to dry. The Moon one, the paler pink Moon one, has come off a little bit more. The Primark glitter ones are almost completely gone, which is not really a surprise to me because they were so thin to start with. Interestingly enough, the more that you remove the black off this Jeffree Star liquid lipstick one, the more glittery it appears to be. This is not from the body glitter, this is actually the glitter pigment in itself. So that's a really interesting way to make them appear more glittery, is to take the top layer of liquid lipstick off and make it more glittery, which is quite nice and quite interesting. You can see the nude ones held up pretty well. You can see these 3 have held up well, and these ones have all held up pretty well. The pencil NYX one here has removed itself a little bit, but again it's a pencil eyeliner, you do expect that. The 2 pencil eyeliners up here have also moved. This faux whites one, however, surprisingly enough, hasn't moved. And you can see on the tissue which ones have come off. So you can see there that the redder pigments, the pinker pigments, and some of the darker ones are more likely to come off. Obviously you can see here that this red has transferred into this white face paint. So if you are going to be using face paint, be aware any pigment that you've got around a white face paint will probably enter into the white and make it less true to the white colour. But you can see there that some of them have fared a lot better than others. Next, I'm just going to dip this piece of tissue in some water. So this tissue is now wet. And what I'm going to do is go over sets in a row to see whether they come off. So you can see I've been through over these three here and these three here. You can see that some of that collection one has come off at the top. That faux white NYX one has barely come off at all. The Jeffree Star liquid lipstick has not come off much more than it had come off before. And the three metallic ones here, this cream eyeshadow has come off straight away. The Barry M one has now transferred, but the Melt Cosmetics one has stayed put. So you can see there that the collection one has come off a little bit more. The Jeffree Star one has come off a little bit more. The waterproof one has remained waterproof. You know that's waterproof. The gel eyeliner has also stayed relatively well. The pigment has started to come away, and when I touch it you can see that it's now starting to transfer slightly. The Jeffree Star metallic liquid lip hasn't moved at all. You can see that the metallic eyeliner pencil has stayed on quite well. You can see that the NYX mixing medium and pigment has stayed on quite well. You can see that the Primark gold one has really come off a lot. You can see that the other two have smudged and come off a little bit, but nowhere near as much. And you can see that all of those shades there have really not fared well. You can see that the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick has stayed on a lot better than the rest. The Suva Beauty one is almost completely gone. As I said before, it is water activated, so you need to be aware of that. The face paint was also water activated, so that's now completely gone. The two pencil eyeliners here haven't fared so well either, and the water-based Moon Creations cream face paint has also gone. So I would say out of these, the best ones are definitely the Jeffree Star metallic liquid lip here, the waterproof and gel black eyeliners, the NYX Faux Whites pencil eyeliner, and the Melt Cosmetics metallic gel eyeliner, and the two NYX and mixing mediums. Again, you're not likely to deluge your hand in water. It's an unlikely occurrence, so just be aware of that. It is just to show you how some of those swatches fared when you did that. As I've gone along, I've given you sort of the pros and cons of each sort of type of eyeliner or eyeliner alternative, and you've got a better idea of how each one works. Really, there are a lot of alternatives that act similarly to eyeliner and stay on pretty well. Some of the true eyeliners, the liquid eyeliners and the pencil eyeliners have stayed on better than some of the alternatives. But again, you're hardly likely to rub your eye with water once you've applied eyeliner. So next today we're going to talk about how you can use a single shade of eyeliner and eyeshadow to make an impact, and talk about how to create a simple graphic liner look using these techniques. So first off, now that I've done all my tests, I know that I can use this Collections Fast Stroke liquid eyeliner, the white one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my eye, and I'm going to apply a white eyeshadow and then apply this over the top so you can see what that looks like. So for this, to make that white a really bright white, I'm going to use the Revolution Colour and Correct White Concealer, and you can see that that is C0 shade white, and I'm just going to apply that to my eyelid. Conversationally, you could use this white concealer as an eyeliner, but obviously you can see as I'm blending it in, it is becoming less white. That is because of the foundation I already have on my face and the foundation and concealer that is already on this brush. So now I have that base and it's already quite white. I'm going to go in with the I Heart Revolution, and this is the Cinnamon Chocolate palette. and I'm just going to go in with this shade Sea Salt right here, this white shade. These eyeshadow palettes are around £10, so they're not too expensive. And you can see that I'm just packing that white shade on, and you can see that I've got better payoff of this white shade. If I put a bit on this eyelid, you can see the massive difference in payoff because I used that white concealer first. I will be talking more in the next video about how to get the best out of cheaper eyeshadows or less pigmented shades, and this is definitely something that I'll be talking about in more detail, using a shade under an eyeshadow. So you can see there now that I have a really nice white shade on my eye, and what I'm going to do is just apply the eyeliner. So with these kind of eyeliners, they can be a little bit more difficult to use. If you're unsure of how to apply eyeliner, go back to my 5th makeup tutorials video, gel liner versus liquid liner, and I'm just going to apply this now. So you can see with white liners that they don't always want to go on perfectly straight away. You do have to encourage them. If I was to use this over a different shade of eyeshadow, you would probably find that it would start to become the colour of the eyeshadow that I was putting it over as well. So this is quite a subtle single colour that I'm using to make quite a big impact just by using white on white. And you can see there that I've now just made my winged eyeliner. And all I'm going to do with this to make my first simple graphic liner look is to bring it round this area here. So what I like to do is not go quite to the point of my wing and come around here. You can see how patchy that is. That's fine because this is just my line that I'm going to work to. And what I'm going to do is carry on building it round and make quite a thick line around here and make it thinner as I come round. So this is the best way to learn how to do a graphic liner look, is to start with a thick graphic liner look, because you can build it up, you can make mistakes like so. You can see that I've still left a gap, but it is quite a small gap. You can see that it's quite thick going into a thinner part here, but you can see there that I'm just gently building it up. Now when you're building eyeliner up, you need to be careful because as you're putting it on, it can also take off the layer underneath. So you can see there that I've got quite an interesting graphic liner look, and it's quite thick. I've done it quite thick here because I find as a beginner you need to do it quite thick in order to make your lines as straight as possible. Now what I'm going to do to clean that up without deviating too much from the shades I'm using is I'm going to go in with the Melt Cosmetics Metal Bond gel liner, and I'm just going to clean up those edges. So I'm just going to go around the edges of this and just make them a little bit stronger. Like so. So if I now want to clean this up, I can just get my brush again and gently sweep underneath it to clean that point up and to make it look really stark. You can see that that's given everything a little bit more definition now. If I want to come further in here, I can do like so. And what I can do now is just follow the rest of this eyeliner around just to define the rest of that shape on the inside. This is a simple way of creating quite a graphic look by using only 2 shades of eyeliner. You could use only 1 shade, you could do this in black and it will probably be perfectly defined. But this I've done as sort of a beginner's way of doing it. So I've just done this to show you how you can make a graphic look quite thick so it's easier to follow. So you can see there that that's now given me quite a graphic look. It's quite simple, but it's using a bit of negative space to create different shapes. You can keep tweaking it as you see fit, but this is quite an interesting way of using several similar shades to create a graphic look that's interesting to look at, that's a little bit different. Obviously this would look much better with a false eyelash, so I'm just going to put one on now. And as you can see now, that false eyelash has just added a little extra dimension to this graphic liner look. You will find with some looks that until you add a false lash, or until you add mascara, or until you completely finish the look, it's never going to look 100% right. And that's because it's unfinished, but you can see there that this has started to come more together now. What I can also do is add highlighter into the inner corner and under my brow. So I can add a highlighter into the inner corner of my eye. I'm using a white highlighter again, or a silvery highlighter, so you can see that this is all the same shades. And under my brow here, just to add a bit more dimension to this look. See what that looks like with a false lash. Now I'm just going to take this off to do the rest of the tutorial. Now you can see what that looks like. On the other side I'm going to show you something a little bit more advanced, but you can see there by simply using different shades of white and silver that I've managed to build up a look that looks quite interesting by using a singular shade. It's quite hard to get a thin line when you first begin, so I've shown you this. White eyeliner is particularly difficult to get a thin line with, so I've shown you an alternative graphic liner with a thick line as opposed to a thinner line, and then you've got that thinner line with the silver that's defining the look itself. On the other side I'm going to go a bit more crazy. I'm going to add a bit more dimension by using different shades of the same colour. So I'm just applying some of my eye primer here. Like I said, when I start talking about bright colours in the next few videos, I will be talking more about why I use eye primer, but for now I'm just going to apply it on there. And I'm going to get my best plethora of red shades from the Blood Sugar palette, Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and I'll show you what that looks like, and work my way up by building in a similar transition fashion to how I did the last video talking about transitioning eyeshadows. So I'm going to start with shade Sugarcane, which is this one here, and I'm just going to build that up. So I'm just going to apply Sugarcane to my eyelid. You can see Sugarcane's quite a strong shade to start with. The beauty of the Jeffree Star Cosmetics palettes is that you'll find a lot of the shades are similar toned to the bright shades, so they're easier to transition. So this is quite a red pink toned nude, which is going to make it easier to transition the colour. Now I've just shown you on this side how to go round the top of your eye. On this side I'm going to show you all the way round the eye, top and bottom. And now I'm going to dip into this shade Cake Mix. And I'm just going to use different shades of red to create this look. So you can see here that I'm starting to transition this out now. I'm going to dip into shade Tongue Pop, which is this one here. Then I'm going to dip into shade Prick, then along this line here to all these dark reds. So I'm just going in with shade Tongue Pop now, adding a bit of transition before I add those bright colours. I will be going into more depth on how to use bright colours. This is just to give you an idea of how to use them in tandem with liquid liner. So then I'm going to dip into shade Prick, which is this orangey red shade, and I'm just going to apply it into the inner corner outward. So essentially I'm going to build across my eye lighter to darker. So I'm going to start with the lightest red shade here, and I'm just building it up. Like so. And then I'm going to go into shade Cherry Soda, which is the next shade along, the next darkest shade, and I'm going to add that next and start blending them together. And then I'm going to dip into shade Fresh Meat and bring that a little bit further along. So you can see there it's starting to build lighter to darker. And then I'm going to dip into shade Extraction, which is more of a plum purple red, to go on this outer corner here. And now under my eye I'm just going to go back in with Cherry Soda under the eye line. And there you have it. That's my eyeshadow laid down, ready to use in tandem with my eyeliner. So with this one, I'm going to be using the Jeffree Star liquid lips because they give me the best range of colours that I need for this look. I'm going to start with shade Soul Sucker, which is the black with gold reflects. And I'm going to move my way along lighter to darker. So I'm going to go around halfway across my eyelid with this shade. It's best to have a few different brushes to do a few different shades for this. So I've just taken that off the applicator and I'm just going to start in my inner corner and create a line here to around halfway along my eyelid. And you can see there, you can see those gold reflects. And that's around halfway along my eyelid itself. And next I'm going to dip into shade Designer Blood, so the darkest red, and I'm going to carry that line on along. So I'm going to carry on along here. You can see I can blend that into the black. And I'm going to start to come up from my flick with this to here and just gently build that up. So you can see I've gone from black to red, and with this colour I'm just going to start this process of coming around to make it a graphic liner, like so. Next I'm going to go in with my brightest shade, which is shade Red Rum, and I'm going to follow that line round and start creating that graphic eyeliner line, much thinner than the white side, as you can see. And I'm just blending those two together where they meet. You can see there that I've gone from black to dark red to bright red. And what I'm going to do to add the last shade is I'm going to go in with shade Anna Nicole, and this is like a bright orangey red shade. And I'm just going to carry that line on around a bit further to meet the line of Red Rum. And there you have it, gradually transitioned from dark here all the way around to light. I've just used 4 different shades of liquid lipstick to create one graphic liner look that melds into the eyeshadow look that I've tried to create. But essentially you can create really nice graphic liner looks just by using different shades of the same colour. So I've gone from black to red on this side, and all I've done is shades of white and silver on this side. You can see on this side to the type of eyeliner it has cracked a little bit. You will find that with white eyeliners. I personally recommend a white gel liner if you're going to do white, because it is a very difficult shade to work with. But you can see these reds are really nice and blended. If I want to bring the eyeshadow a bit further out to meet that line, I can now gently tap it over just to meet the outside of that graphic line. Now that you have this kind of look, what you can do is you can also line under the eye. Some people like to line directly under the entire eye. I personally like to bring it out as I do it, which I'll show you on this side of my face now. So I'm just going to go in with my shade Designer Blood again, which was the darkest red shade I used, and I'm just going to go under my eye to around halfway. So I'm going to attach it to this line here that I've already created and start gently bringing it down, and I'm going to go to around halfway under my eye, directly under the eye itself. As you can see there, that's directly under my eye. And then I'm going to go back in with my black glitter shade Soul Sucker, and this time I'm gently going to bring it out and away from the underline of my eye. Jeffree Star Cosmetics do a completely pure black liquid lipstick, which is great for this kind of thing. If you just want a simple black, they are really great. I highly recommend them. So you can see now that I'm gently coming away from the underline of my eye, and I'm going to stop around this area here. So you can see that I'm just gently building that in from the underline of my eye outward and blending it into that Designer Blood colour. Now I like to add a circular end to the outer edge here just to make it look a little bit Egyptian-y and give it some definition. And I've brought it away from the underline of my eye itself. This can make your eye appear bigger, it can just give you that graphic look, it can add a bit more definition. And you can see there that I've just used the shades of eyeliner to transition from dark to light and from light back to dark again. There's loads of different ways you can do this. Pride colours in this kind of format is really popular and is a really beautiful look for a pride parade. You can do this without any eyeshadow on top. I just wanted to show you how it melds with the eyeshadow itself. Now with these two entirely different looks, they're really like angel and devil, night and day. I can add a liner into my waterline just to make that look complete. So I'm going to add the black Wet n Wild one into this side like so. With this side, now that I have this gap, is add some more of this red eyeshadow to meet that gap and to close that gap, so that that negative space has some eyeshadow in there. So you can see now that it's come to meet where this eyeliner isn't touching the base of my eye. I can use this smaller brush to shape around the eyeliner itself like so, and to create definition around the look. So I've just gone around the eyeliner there to create some shape to my eyeshadow as well as my eyeliner. This would be much more stark if I didn't have the eyeshadow underneath it, but I wanted to show you how you can use one bright colour to do this. In this side I'm going to use the NYX Faux Whites. So you can see there that I've just used that Faux Whites colour. It is a really beautiful shade. It's got that lavender shade in, but it still looks white, as you can see there. You can create any kind of look you want really with graphic eyeliner. There is no right and wrong. Obviously you can see the more eyeliner colours you have, the more you can meld them together. The Jeffree Star liquid lips are particularly good for this. Another thing you can do if you have a shade of Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks is that you can do your eyebrows in the same shade as your lips, or the same shade as your hair if you have brightly coloured hair. So I'm going to use the same colour that I have on my lips, which is shade Androgyny, and I'm just going to paint my eyebrows in. So I've opted for a longer brow today to go with the long shape of my eyeshadow. You can see there you can use different shades for your eyebrows. If the shade is much lighter than your brow, you are going to be able to see it. I've blocked mine out to some degree today so you can't see it as well, but you can still see it. There are loads of different things you can do with graphic liner looks, and loads of different things you can do with the colours of your eyebrows. If you haven't watched my eyebrow tutorial yet, please do. It will give you some ideas on how to draw your eyebrows on before you attempt this. But essentially you can do whatever you like. The sky is really the limit with makeup. Your imagination is the only thing that really limits it. This would be a great look for Halloween because it's light and dark. It's almost like angel and devil. So for this side I'm going to use shade Virginity, which is this lovely lavender shade. Because I've not blocked my eyebrow out properly, you are going to be able to see it to some degree, but you know, does it matter? Probably not. So I'm just going to go in with this shade here to do my other brow. And to define that, as I did with the graphic liner look, I'm going to use Melt Cosmetics Metal Bond Gel Liner. So you can see now that this eyebrow is much more suggestive. This one's much more elongated. You can still see the natural hairs of my brow, which are making this area here look a bit of a dead space. Not everyone will have that issue because they will already have eyebrow hairs, or you can block your brow out fully, which I haven't done here today. But you can see that you can create some really interesting graphic liner looks in both your brows and on your eyes with this. You could line your lips with these. The possibilities are really endless, and you can have some real fun with creating different things. This is more like an angelic side, this is more like a devil side. If I add a bit of this over this side of my lip, as you can see here, I can make my lip lighter one side as well. The possibilities are really endless. I've tried to show you as much as possible on my face today what kind of things you can do with a graphic liner look. This side I particularly like how it goes from darker to lighter and then lighter to darker again. But just practice and see what you can come up with. The more colours you have, the more interesting you can make your looks. And I hope that this has given you some ideas of what you can use in lieu of eyeliner, and given you some ideas of how to create your own interesting looks and to use a singular colour in different shades to create an impact. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know if there's anything else that you haven't seen yet that you'd really like to see, anything else that you'd like to learn. But please do let me know if there's anything else that you'd love to see, and I will try my best to accommodate everything. I do try and add things into the tutorials I think people will find interesting and most useful. So please don't hesitate to let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one, which will be how to get the best out of cheaper or less pigmented eyeshadows, how to make eyeshadows look stronger, how to make them more impactful when you use them. It will be building on what I did here on this side to you when I use the white eyeshadow. I'll be talking more about how you can do that with several different colours, and this will mean that anyone that can't afford to or doesn't have the inclination to buy more expensive eyeshadow palettes will still be able to yield great results from that. That will probably be coming in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys!